G'day everyone, it's Sam. Today's practice is going to be a chill flow. So nothing extremely courageous or acrobatic, just working to warm up the body first and foremost, and then working towards some longer holds towards the end. So as always, if you do have some blocks, you're most welcome to use them. They won't absolutely be necessary for today's practice, but if you keep them close by, you'll always have that option to use them if you need to. So we're going to begin just in a comfortable seated position, so sit your bottom down onto the mat, cross the legs in whatever way feels most natural for you, and just set the hands on top of the thighs, let the elbows be heavy, and close the eyes. So one of the best ways to connect to the breath is to first disconnect. So take a big exhale, let everything go, empty your cup, and then we work to fill up. So deep inhale through your nose. Feel the spine get longer, the crown of the head lift, and then sigh it all out. We'll do a few more like that. Each time we breathe in, we sit taller. So inhale, and let everything out. Nice one. We want to work to be really calm for today's practice. Inhale together. Let it out. Last one. Longest breath you've taken so far. Breathe in. Open the mouth, don't be shy. Release. Nice one. Keep the eyes closed if you can. Just start to move gently from side to side, just finding some free movement in the spine there. Almost like a little wave or a ripple from side to side. You can start to bring your neck into the mix as well, starting to create some natural circles. One way and the next, rolling out the shoulders. So trying to be less rigid in our movement and a little more free. Not tying ourselves to any particular dogmatic alignment today, just working to move in a way that's safe and feels good in the body. So wherever you are, just taking one last deep breath in. Then open the mouth. Let it go. We'll come back to center, gently open the eyes, and from here we'll make our way onto all fours. So coming onto hands and knees, just for a moment, tuck your toes under, send your hips back towards the heels, so just getting that stretch out through the bottoms of the feet. This is one of my favorite spaces to be in, especially in the morning. As soon as you wake up, get out of bed, just tuck those toes under, send the hips back towards the heels, really wakes up the feet. We like to wake up from the feet because the feet are our foundations. They're the thing that are connected to the floor most of the time throughout our lives, so it's good to find that connection as soon as you wake up and get out of bed. Then from here, we'll come onto that tabletop position, push away from the floor. We're going to keep that left leg where it is, just extend the right leg back behind you. See if you can point through the toes. And then round through that upper back a little more, push away from the floor, extend the left arm out long in front of you. So imagine somebody was grabbing your left wrist, pulling it forward, and then there's also someone who had your right ankle and they're pulling that backwards. You're getting long from one end to the next. The navel's pulling in, we push into that right hand, take an inhale here. Then as you exhale, let's curl in, let your left elbow touch the front of your left hip and your right knee come in towards your nose. Really round through the upper back and push through that right hand. And we'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, extend that left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale, left elbow to left hip, right knee to nose. One last time, connecting with breath. Inhale to extend. Exhale to contract. Nice one. Come back to tabletop position. Once that right knee grounds, we're going to extend the left leg back behind us. Soften that left foot down flat. Start to reach your left arm up towards the sky. So opening through the right hip here. You push down through that right hand, reach the left arm up a little higher. If you can from here, just bend your left elbow, let the left arm fall behind the back. So we're opening through the hip, but we don't want to fatigue that left shoulder too much. So you just let that left arm drop, keep peeling the left shoulder up a little bit higher. See if you can flex this right glute here as well to open up through that right hip just a little more. Full breath in. Then take that left arm back up towards the sky as you inhale. And let the exhale set the left hand back underneath the left shoulder. We'll come back. Find the all fours shape and just rinse out with one round of cow-cat here. So softening your belly first, feel the tailbone lift, pull the chest forward, lift the gaze. Deep inhale. Then exhale, tailbone tucks, we push away from floor, chin draws to chest, we round. Then reset, find the tabletop shape. This time right leg stays, extend the left leg back behind you, point through those toes if you can. Push down through that left hand, we'll extend the right arm out long in front of us. Now don't worry too much about what your right foot is doing. You can tuck the toes or keep them untucked. It does not matter. Again, we're not too concerned about alignment today. We just want to feel in our body as much as we can. Push down through that left hand, extend from one end to the next. Take a breath. Exhale, right elbow will draw to the front of the right hip. Left knee will move towards the nose. We push through the left hand. Inhale for number 2. Extend as long as you can. Exhale, contract as much as you can. Third and final, we extend, get long. Can you lift that left leg a little higher? Can you reach the right arm a little higher? And then exhale, draw in. Really round through that upper back. And gently make your way to all fours. Once the left knee grounds, extend the right leg back behind you this time. Soften that right foot down. Push through the left hand, reach the right arm up towards the sky. So it's almost like a little baby Ardha Chandrasana, or baby half moon. The emphasis is on opening the left hip. So present that right hip a little higher up towards the ceiling. As you look up towards the right hand, feel free just to bend the elbow. Let that right arm drop behind the back here. You're feeling the left arm start to get a little bit stronger. Right side of the body lifting higher. Take one last breath. Stay as you breathe out. And reach that right arm back up towards the sky. Big breath. And as you exhale, we'll come back, find that all fours shape. And once again, rinsing out just through one round of the cow-cat. So let your belly soften. Inhale, pull your chest forward, lift your gaze. Then as we exhale to come to cat pose, push away from floor, round through the upper back, draw the chin to chest, and tuck those toes under, lift the hips. We'll come back and meet in downward facing dog. Want to have those feet about hip width distance apart. Walk your arms forward, get a little bit longer here, and then look back towards your feet. On the inhale, lift both heels nice and high. And as you exhale, roll both heels off towards the left-hand side of the mat. So you're on the outside edge of your left foot, the inside edge of your right foot. Then push through both hands, send the hips back a little more, and see if you can start to pivot the left hip forward a little more and send the right hip back. So we're getting a little more length through the right side of the body there. Take a long breath. As we exhale, we pivot back onto the balls of the feet. Then inhale to lift the heels nice and high again. Exhale, we send both heels to the right, this time resting on the inside edge of the left foot, the outside edge of the right foot. We're going to pivot the right hip forward, push through the right hand a little more to send the hips back. Take a full breath. Then exhale. We'll gently come back to center, this time shuffling 2 big toes to touch. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back behind you, flex the toes towards the face. Then exhale, let's draw that right knee in towards the nose. As we do, roll the shoulders forward, stack them over the wrists. Inhale, reach the right leg back up. Exhale, knee to nose again. So we're going to do that 3 times. Again, just working to warm the body up first. Inhale, right leg straight up. Then exhale, knee to nose. This time we roll shoulders forward, set the right foot between the hands, just drop the left knee down. From here, interlace your hands, just rest them both on top of the right thigh. Start to send your hips forward, push away from the right thigh. So the chest is lifting as the hips sit lower. We peel the shoulder blades down the back. Just working to find some opening through the front of the left hip here, flexing that left glute. Really send the pelvis forward and down as you lift the chest up and back. You're going to feel that navel pulling in, so we're not letting the belly fall out, but instead we're drawing it back in to help support the spine here. and set your arms down by the side. Keep the chest moving forward, shoulders rolling back. Inhale, reach both arms straight up. And then exhale, squeeze the elbows back towards each other. Imagine they were trying to touch behind the back there. Inhale, reach your arms forwards and up. Exhale, elbows squeeze towards each other. Keep that chest lifting. Last time. Inhale, arms reach forwards and up. Exhale, they squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keep that chest lifting. Then from here, left hand underneath the left shoulder. Start to walk that right foot out just a little wider. Inhale, reach your right arm straight up towards the sky, finding that twist. Push down through the left hand. Peel that right shoulder up a little higher. And for today, let's see if we can keep the left toes tucked under just to get a little more life in that back foot. So we're going to peel the right shoulder back and then start to point your right index finger towards the back of the room. And then from here, we're going to create some big circles here. Imagine you had a pencil or a pen on that right index finger. So as we inhale, we're going to take that arm forwards and down. And then exhale, circle it back around. So opening up through the right side. Inhale, forwards and down. Exhale, up and back. We'll do this 3 times. So last time, as we exhale, we keep reaching that right index finger towards the back of the room. If you have more space, feel free to bend up your left knee, catch hold of your left foot. Absolutely no obligation to catch the foot. If it's there, fantastic. If it's not, don't worry about it. If you've got a little more space in the right hip, feel free to fall off on the outside edge of the right foot and just let the right knee drop out towards the right-hand side a little. Feel firm and engaged as you push through that left hand to help peel the right shoulder back a little more. If you do have that foot, maybe you can bend your right elbow to gently draw that left foot in just a little more. Take a breath here. Stay as you exhale. And then without slingshotting that left foot, gently release. Take hands underneath the shoulders, send your hips back and just work to extend your right leg out in front of you. So you can either have the right foot outside the right hand, or if you want to set the right foot between the hands, it's all good. We're just working on this half split shape now. So flexing right toes towards the face, wrapping that left hip forward. We'll come onto the fingertips to lift the chest as we inhale. And as you exhale, bend your elbows. Imagine you're trying to take your elbows to touch the floor and your right rib cage to touch your right thigh. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower. One more time, inhale to rise. Exhale, this time we stay for a little longer. You can set the palms down if you like, let your head drop nice and heavy. If you're looking back at the hips and they feel like they're not quite square, maybe work to wrap that left hip forward just a little more and send the right hip back. If you can, continually flexing the right toes towards the face to keep that right foot alive. And take a final breath in here. Breathe in. Enjoy the entire length of your exhale. Then we slowly push down through the hands, lift the chest. We're going to send that right foot back next to the left, just take it back to downward facing dog. So tuck those toes under, guide the hips up and back. And take 2 big toes touching. Single breath together, fill up through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Then let the inhale reach your left leg up and back behind you, flexing left toes towards the face. Then exhale, knee will draw in towards the nose, roll those shoulders forward, see if you can tap knee to nose. You do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise that left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, push through the hands. Last time, inhale to rise. This time as we exhale to draw that knee in, we roll forward, look between the hands, set the left foot down and lower that back knee. Coming up, interlace the fingers, drive those hips forward, push onto that left thigh to lift the chest. So you're trying to get as much height through the chest as you can and as much depth through the hips as you can. So as the hips lean forward, push away from that thigh. See if you can feel the opening in the front of the right hip. You may want to flex that right glute just a little more to feel more opening there. And then keeping that navel pulling in. Once you feel strong, you feel supported, let the arms hang down by the side. And then we move through those big circles again. So inhale, arms reach forwards and up. And exhale, elbows squeeze back together. Inhale, arms reach forwards and up. Exhale, hug those elbows back towards each other. Feel the strength of the back muscles as they contract. The back muscles, what are they? Last time, inhale to rise. Exhale, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Feel the front of that right hip really starting to open. And then from here, right hand underneath the right shoulder. Shuffle that left foot out a little wider. Inhale, reach your left arm up towards the sky. Pushing away from the earth to lift the left side of the body higher. Keep firm through that right glute. So flex the right glute and start to reach that left index finger back behind you. Then from here, once again, we start to create those big circles, this time with that imaginary pen or pencil on that left index finger. So inhale, that arm will reach forward and down first. And then exhale, take it up and back. Inhale, forwards and down. Exhale, up and back. Get as exaggerated as you can here. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, back. This time we keep reaching that left hand behind us. If you have the space, you bend up the right knee. Feel free to catch that right foot and then perhaps fall off onto the outside edge of your left foot. Let your left hip open out towards the left hand side. Keep peeling left shoulder back. Maybe you can even see your right foot. If anything like me, you might have a little bit of dust and a few hairs stuck to the bottom. That's the joys of practicing yoga, right? There's always stuff on the bottom of the feet. Maybe bend that left elbow, squeeze that right foot in a little more if you have it. If you don't, just ignore what I'm saying right now. Take one last breath. Stay for that breath out. And with control, we release the foot. Take both hands underneath the shoulders. We'll send the hips back. Straighten that left leg. Again, you can have the left foot between the hands or you can have it a little off center. Doesn't really matter today. I'm going to keep square through the hips. Flex the left toes. Come onto the fingertips. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower. Ride the wave of the breath. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Third and final time. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we lower to hold a little longer this time. Take the palms flat if you like. Keep that left foot engaged. Bend the left knee if you feel the need. Always good to listen to the body. Sometimes it's trying to send us messages rather than ignore. And if your body is telling you that perhaps that hamstring is doing too much, you just take a slight bend in the knee. Doesn't make you any less of a yogi. Doesn't make the practice any less beneficial. If anything, it makes it more beneficial because you're listening to what your body is trying to tell you. Let that head drop nice and heavy. Release that tension through the neck. Take a final breath. Open the mouth. And we start to lift that chest. Walk the hands back towards you a little more. Then slide that left foot back next to the right. You're going to reset. Come back to that downward facing dog. So tuck those toes. Lift the hips up and back. And then from here, set the feet just a little wider than hip width distance apart. We're going to walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into a forward fold here at the back of the mat. Bend your knees, lift your chest. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, catch opposite elbows. Let everything hang nice and heavy and just gently move from side to side. So we are going to keep the knees bent here just for a little bit as we shift from side to side. As you start to move over to the right side, let the right knee bend, but maybe the left leg starts to straighten. And then the opposite. As you move to the left side, the left knee will bend, maybe the right leg will straighten. And that concept may be a little confusing to start off with, but as you start to move through a little more, it'll feel a little more comfortable.
Again, working to make sure that head's nice and heavy. If the head needs a little more encouragement to release, interlace the fingers, just rest them to the back of the head. Let the elbows fall in towards each other. And then we'll gently start to slow down our little sway, come to center. Set the left hand down between the feet, so directly underneath the chest here. We're going to bend the left knee, straighten the right leg, and then start to reach the right arm up towards the sky. So just taking a gentle little twist here in our fold. So really bend into that left knee, straighten the right leg, see if you can reach the right arm up a little bit higher. And then like we did at the beginning of practice, feel free to bend your right elbow. Just let the right arm rest behind the back. So this little twist is super, super nourishing. It gets into the legs a little. If you want to take it further, and again, this is absolutely optional, you can take that left arm, take it between the legs, and maybe wrap that left arm back to catch hold of the right hand, finding a gentle little bind here. Again, if it's not there, don't worry about it. Keep bending into that left knee, reaching the right shoulder up in whatever variation you're in. Take a full breath here. We stay for the exhale. And we gently soften the left hand back to the earth first. Reach the right arm back up towards the sky. In breath. Then exhale, we swap hands. So right hand's going to land where the left hand was. We'll bend into the right knee. Left leg will straighten. And we'll reach that left arm up towards the sky. So feel free to rest your right rib cage against your right thigh and sit heavy in that right leg to reach that left arm up a little higher. Again, everything is optional. You can stay here. You can let the left arm just fall behind the back there. If you want to come a little further, you can take that right arm between the legs and maybe find the fingertips there. So more important than the shape is the breathing, so keep the breath nice and steady. That's full inhales through the nose and exhaling the same way. And every now and then we'll splash in and exhale through the mouth, but majority of the time we're trying to exhale through the nose as well, just to build a bit of that fire in the belly. Take one last breath here. Stay for the exhale. Then look down, return the right hand back to the mat. Inhale, reach that left arm to the sky. And as you exhale, set the left hand down to the earth. We'll start to walk our hands up our shins and come all the way up to standing. When we arrive, just interlace the hands behind the back, roll the shoulder blades back towards each other, slide the fist down the back of the hips and start to lift the chest. If you can, just keep the chin towards the chest for a moment here. So guide your hips forward, lift your chest up and slide your hands back. Take a full breath here. And as you exhale, we'll keep that bind and start to fold forward. So let the arms fall over the back of the head. Let the head drop nice and heavy. And again, we're going to find that little sway from side to side. So remembering as we move to left side, left knee will bend, right leg will straighten. As we move to right, right knee will bend, left leg will straighten. It's a gentle rock from side to side, really letting that head heavy, letting the arms be nice and heavy. Fingertips are interlacing here. And then before we work to release the bind, we gently come back to center. We bend the elbows first before we release the bind. Let the hands touch the tailbone. And take the hands down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Then sit yourself down towards a squat. So coming into Malasana here. So feet a little bit wider than your hips, toes turning out. Then set your elbows inside your thighs, press your palms together. And as we drive the palms towards each other, the palms move down, the chest will rise. So we're getting more length through the spine. Tailbone is descending, crown of the head ascending. And working to retract your shoulder blades slightly, so squeezing them towards each other to help lift the chest. If you can, see if you can lean your weight into the heels just a touch, maybe the 10 toes, start to lift up and off the earth. Take a breath. Stay for the exhale. And then gently open your eyes. Use your fingertips if you need to. We're going to set our hips down towards the mat. Have the legs out in front of us for a moment, flexing toes towards the face, and then using hands for support. We're just going to rinse out the hips from side to side. Just a few rounds. So sometimes if you've practiced with me before, we do this, lifting the hands up off the mat as well. You're absolutely welcome to do that. That is a little more of an active variation, and we are working to be chill today, so completely up to you. Once you've done maybe 4 or 5 to either side, we're going to come back to center. Separate those legs nice and wide, coming into Upavishta Konasana, or that straddle forward fold. If you're quite tight through the hamstrings there, you've got your blocks, you can pop them underneath your knees just to take the length out of the legs a little. You're going to flex those toes towards the face, keep those sitting bones grounded, reach the fingertips out in front of you, take a breath. And then exhale just to walk your arms out in front of you to a space that's comfortable, not overshooting it too far. I'm going to push into the fingertips, wrap the biceps up towards the ceiling, take another breath. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, see if the elbows can touch the floor, but keep that chest lifted. Inhale, lift the elbows, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows to lower. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the elbows. Maybe walk the hands a little further out in front this time. Then exhale, bend the elbows. One last time like that. Keep those toes flexing. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the elbows. Exhale, bend to lower. So I'm going to be here for just a little bit. You can keep the elbows down underneath you. You can take a block underneath you and rest your head onto the block. Maybe fold the arms, let the forehead rest on the elbows there. Or if you have a little more space, you can continue to walk the arms forward and maybe rest your head on the floor. And you want this pose to feel good. Not feel like you're causing any stress or tension, but instead finding a nourishing stretch with maybe a touch of challenge. And just be here for about 5 more of your own breaths. Keeping the toes alive, flexing them, giving them a wiggle every now and then so you know they're engaged and they are part of the process. 3 more. Last breath, don't rush it. Breathe in. Let it out. And we gently lift our head first off whatever it may be on and walk the hands back towards you. And then from here, just going to give the legs a little shake out for a moment, get some blood flowing back. And then we'll bend up the right knee first. So working to come into a half lotus. So you're going to bend the right knee in, take the right heel nice and close to the inner left thigh, and then work to take your left foot and just rest it on top of your right thigh. Again, if that's not working for you, you can just take an easy cross-legged seat. So taking the left foot underneath the right shin there, if that's comfortable. I'm going to sit up nice and tall, take the arms out by the side, inhale together. Then as we exhale, bring the arms in front of you, taking the left forearm underneath the right, and working to find Garudasana or eagle arm. So you may have back of hands together. You may find the little bind resting the left fingertips on the right palm there. And then from here, just like we have been, we're just going to create almost some little circles here in the spine. You may like to almost try and resemble the shape of a figure 8. So again, just finding a little bit of that free movement through the spine, not tied to any particular alignment or shape. And then gently coming back to center. Inhale, reach the elbows up as high as you can. And then exhale to fold forward down the center. See if the head can drop heavy. See if the forearms can rest against the earth. We won't be here for too long. Just trying to release through the hips and get a bit of a stretch through the knee joints as well. Take a full breath. Open the mouth, let it go. And pull the belly into spine. Use the core to lift yourself back up. Then gently release your arms, take them out to either side. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to find a twist. Take the left arm behind the back, let the right hand rest to the outside of the left thigh. Gently gaze back over your left shoulder. The inhale will lift us tall. The exhale will twist us more. And as we come back to center, what we're going to do is swap the legs. So this time it's the left knee that's going to bend in first. Left heel will move to the inner right thigh. And then you take the right foot to rest it on top of your left hip. And again, if that's not working, you just take that easy cross-legged seat, taking the right shin underneath the left. Sit up nice and tall, find your length. Reach your arms out towards the sky, inhale. This time as you cross the arms in front, right forearm under left, you find your eagle arms. Maybe there's the bind there with the fingers resting on the palm, maybe not. And then again, just finding that natural movement. So you may feel quite silly doing this. Just know if you're doing it in your living room by yourself, I'm doing it with 2 cameras pointed at me. So if you want to just close your eyes, just close your eyes. I'm just trying to honor your own body. Maybe move in some ways that you wouldn't normally move. So feeling connection in a different way. As you come back to center slowly, inhale, lift those elbows, lift the chest. And exhale to fold. So after this pose, this gentle fold and our twist afterwards, we're going to take it straight down onto the back and come towards rest. So I encourage you to begin to close the eyes and really bringing your focus back to the breath if it's shifted. Again, working not to rush, letting every breath travel to every cell, every muscle, every fiber of the body. And gently pull your navel in. Use the core, bring yourself back up. So to extend the arms out towards the sky, big breath in. On the exhale, we find the twist. Right arm behind the back, left hand to outside of the right thigh. Gentle twist over the right shoulder. The inhale will lift us up. The exhale will twist us more. And as we come back around to center, we're going to extend both legs out long in front, give them a little shake out here. And just take the hands behind the hips, let the fingers point out to either side, bend up your knees. Inhale, press through the hands and feet to lift the hips. So shoulder blades roll back towards each other. Chest is rising, hips are lifting. We'll inhale here. Stay for the breath out. And as you gently lower the hips down, we're going to come on down to the back, bring the knees to chest without using the hands. And the hands will cradle the head instead. So head draws to knees, elbows draw to knees. Take a full breath. Then as you exhale, we're going to come down, find Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of feet to touch. Let the knees fall out wide. You want to scoop under that tailbone slightly so you feel the entire length of your spine grounded. As you let the arms fall out to either side, feel those fingers just naturally curling. Feel the navel start to fall down towards the floor. The belly is soft now. So I hope you feel a little more awake in your body now. A little warmer, ready to tackle the day ahead. Find a practice like this nice and easy chill flow is a practice you can revisit and come back to quite often. And as always, I thank you so much for practicing. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll
See you again soon. Peace.